So this is Steve Ridgel, and well, one of my cows got me the other day, kicked me right in the back of the calf. Now, people always wonder, how can you let a cow kick you? Aren't you really careful? Aren't your cows gentle? Yes, my cows are extremely gentle, but when they're startled, they kick like anything would do. And we were even kind of paying attention, but I was walking backwards in our catch pen where all the cows were, and my grandson and I were moving a feed trough, and the cows were milling around over at the side, and one of them, who's really a pretty gentle heifer, started across the pen, but not really near us. But she stopped and pivoted really quick, and before anybody could say anything or we could react, I bumped her. Didn't hit her hard, just bumped her, but it startled her, and she kicked backwards and caught the back of my calf. Now everything's going to be okay. It's been about a week, and well, it's green and it's not really black anymore. But boy, we finished up doing stuff and got in, and the back of my calf had about a softball size knot on it. It's pretty scary for a minute. Then it went down to about baseball size, then golf ball, and then marble size. So it all's going to turn out okay. But that was just a couple of days before I was going to fly out to Morro Bay, California, for a big evangelistic event out in California. And so my wife, as wives will do, was a little nervous that maybe I would have some kind of blood clot. So I had to do the whole wear compression socks on the airplane, get up every 15 minutes, be sure and walk around on it. You know, it never did hurt much, just a little tender for a while. Looked way worse than it was. Boy, did it look bad because it discolored and the knot and just all that. But there's some things I learned from getting kicked by my cow that I thought I'd share with you. And it has to do, this will not surprise you, with your Christian walk. Satan kind of works like that. You're going along in your life, and if you're not careful, you're not really paying as much attention as you think you are. And then, boom, out of nowhere, Satan strikes. Kind of like that cow. I never dreamed I'd get kicked by my cow. Never. And I was sort of paying attention, but not really as much as I should. And so it just reminded me, it's kind of like Peter told us, always be alert because your devil, the enemy, prowls around like a roaring lion looking who he can devour. Boy, it just reminded me, always be sharp, always be looking. Don't take anything for granted on your walk. It also reminded me it's really easy to get into bad habits. You're going along your Christian life, and you're doing the right things, but you're not really as intense about it because everything's good. Now, I need to remember always to be intense about my spiritual disciplines, reading my Bible, doing my prayer life, all of those things. Those things really, really matter. And so I have to remember that. Another thing it taught me is, boy, when something happens and you get struck, do something about it quickly. When I got kicked, I really probably waited too long to get in and start icing it and then, of course, heat so that the blood absorbs back in and all of that stuff. You're going, how do you know that stuff? Well, I have daughters that are nurses, so that kind of, they kind of tell me stuff. But it just reminded me, if you ever do kind of get struck by Satan, not paying as much attention as you should, and he strikes and he gets you a little bit, take action immediately. Now, I'm being real careful about things again. I'm alert when I'm around the cows, and all that's helpful. But, I did immediately. I went to work to be sure that kind of thing doesn't happen again, and I went to work to minimize damage. If you're not careful, one of the things Satan loves to do is get you to sin and then work consequences for a long time. So, I'm going to be okay for my cow strike, and I'm going to be okay when Satan tries to strike. But I'm going to tell you, remember those good lessons. Be aware, be alert. Satan's always trying to strike you. He'll get you when you're not looking. When he does, deal with it, minimize the consequences as much as you can, and do better from going forward. This is Steve Ridgel, wishing I hadn't had to learn that lesson the hard way.